Yellowstone National Park is a place of fire and ice, life and death. Every year, over 3 million visitors pass through its breathtaking beauty. But some never leave. Disappearing hikers, haunted lodges, mysterious whispers from the lake. Some call them urban legends. But others, rangers, locals, even seasoned investigators, swear by what they've seen. Welcome back to the Forbidden Realm Files, where the veil between reality and the unknown is razor thin, and every story pulls you deeper into the darkness. If you're drawn to the eerie, the unexplained, and the places most fear to explore, you're in the right place. Today, we're covering 6 terrifying paranormal mysteries hidden in Yellowstone National Park. Make sure you stay until the end because the final story isn't just the creepiest. It might explain all the others. Are you ready? Let's begin. 1. The vanishing of Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell wasn't just another tourist. He was a survivalist, a seasoned hiker. In 1991, he set off from the Beckler Ranger Station, planning to camp near the Geyser Basin. He told a friend he'd return in 3 days, but he never did. Rangers found nothing, not even tracks. Only an eerie silence, like the woods had swallowed him whole. One search volunteer later wrote that their compass started spinning, and every direction led back to the same clearing. They described the air as heavy, like the forest itself was holding its breath. A former ranger camped out near the site years later. He woke to the sound of someone crying above him. Not nearby, above, like the trees were weeping. His boots were soaked when he woke, but he hadn't left his tent. Park records show a strange pattern of disappearances within a 5-mile radius of Dan's last known location over the last 5 decades. No animal attacks, no foul play, just people gone, as if taken. Some believe the geothermal activity masks spiritual portals. Others whisper of the Watchers, spirits who guard sacred land. And if that theory holds, then what Dan encountered may not have been a simple accident. It may have been a meeting with something ancient, something protective, or perhaps something vengeful. 2. Death Gulch, Yellowstone's Valley of Shadows. In Yellowstone's northern range lies Death Gulch, a name earned through generations of fear. In 1897, 2 prospectors found a nightmarish scene. 7 grizzly bears, dead, with no wounds. Wolves, birds, even a mountain lion, all lying as if they'd collapsed in fear. Eyes wide open, mouths frozen in a final gasp. Scientists blamed carbon dioxide gases, but others point to something darker. In 2019, a drone flew over the gulch. The feed glitched. Then breathing was heard. Not wind, not gas, something alive. Some hikers found dead birds arranged in perfect spirals. One camper woke to a ring of pine cones around their tent, perfectly placed. No tracks. Tribal legends speak of the sleep spirit, an entity that drains the life of any who step onto its sacred ground. A ranger who once attempted to camp near the gulch said he felt pressure on his chest as if something sat on him while he slept. He left before sunrise, trembling, muttering about voices that sounded like his own, whispering from the dark. 3. The Ghost Bride of Old Faithful Inn. Old Faithful Inn is the park's most iconic lodge. It's also its most haunted. In 1915, a couple checked in on their honeymoon. The next morning, the groom was seen running from the building, covered in blood. The bride was found in the bathtub. Her head was never recovered. Ever since, staff report a woman in white drifting silently through the upper balconies. Where her head should be, only darkness. A guest once reported their daughter waking at 3:12 a.m., crying that the lady with no face was watching her. A trail of water led to the bathroom, but no one else was there. In the 1980s, a night porter quit after seeing a woman float down the grand staircase and vanish mid-floor. Other visitors have reported doors slamming, radios switching on, and mirrors fogging up with single words. One said, "Why?" Another read, "Help." A third mirror cracked as soon as someone touched it after seeing their reflection replaced by a faceless woman. Room 204 is the most notorious. Guests often leave in the middle of the night, refusing to explain why. One cleaner found the sheets shredded from the inside, as if something had clawed its way out, and every winter, without fail, frost patterns on the window trace out an unmistakable silhouette. 4. The music of Yellowstone Lake, siren song of the spirits. Yellowstone Lake is the largest body of water in the park, and it sings. For over a century, people have heard a low moan or whistle at dusk. Some say it sounds like a flute, others a horn, but no source is ever found. One explorer in the early 1900s described the sound as the lake groaning like a giant waking from sleep. Then came the music. Unnatural. Wrong. A modern hiker heard it too. But it wasn't just music, it was words, calling his name. But no one knew he was there. In 2003, 2 rangers on patrol heard a lullaby echoing across the water. Then a pale face rose from the mist, smiling just below the surface. They ran. One never returned to that patrol shift. In 2021, a kayaker disappeared in calm weather. His GoPro footage recovered days later showed still water, perfect silence, then a sudden sharp sound like a bell underwater. Just before the footage cut out, the lake shimmered like something massive passed just beneath the surface. Some believe the lake is a conduit, a place where the veil is thin, a siren's song not to lure boats, but souls. 5. Dragon's Mouth Spring, the breathing beast below. And then there's Dragon's Mouth Spring. It roars like a beast. The steam hisses, the ground trembles. The Lakota believed this was the breath of Unktehi, a water serpent spirit of chaos and death. In 2020, a vlogger live streamed from the spring just past 2 a.m. Thousands watched as the steam turned crimson. Then the feed cut out. The man later claimed he blacked out. When he woke, he was 10 feet from where he had been standing. His camera had melted. Since then, visitors have reported dizziness, vivid nightmares, and even red marks that appear hours later. Some call them phantom burns. Others say they've seen eyes in the steam, watching, waiting. One geologist described hearing a voice say his full name just before a geyser erupted violently nearby. He now refuses to enter that area without protective charms given to him by a Shoshone elder. But the strange doesn't end there. 6. Secrets beneath the steam. At the Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel, guests claim to hear footsteps pacing above their rooms. There is no upstairs. An overnight worker described a figure walking through the lobby with glowing eyes, vanishing just as he reached out. A logbook in the hotel documents multiple guest complaints of a child giggling late at night and knocking on doors, but no children were checked in on those dates. The Black Sand Basin is another site of eerie phenomena. In 2017, a group of friends saw what they thought was a person standing on a geyser's edge, arms raised. When they got closer, there was nothing, but the ground was wet with footprints leading into the steam. And then there's the Boneyard, a little-known spot where park staff have, for decades, disposed of dead wildlife. It draws scavengers, but some believe it draws something else. Several accounts mention strange howling not consistent with wolves, coming from the trees just before dawn. A wildlife photographer camping nearby captured images of large, shadowy figures moving in unnatural ways. The images disappeared from his hard drive the following day. And looming beneath it all, the Yellowstone supervolcano, a pressure cooker of molten fury that breathes beneath the earth. Geologists monitor it constantly, but local lore says it's more than just magma down there. They believe something sleeps beneath, something that dreams, and those dreams seep into the park. Conclusion: a paranormal hub in plain sight. Yellowstone is ancient, alive, and haunted. Its secrets lie in boiling mud, whisper through the trees, and echo in the cries of vanishing souls. Whether these are tricks of nature or evidence of something older, one thing is certain: there are places here where the rules of reality start to break. And when they do, Yellowstone doesn't just take your breath away. It takes something more. You've just scratched the surface of Yellowstone's most unsettling secrets. If these stories chilled you, remember, what's most terrifying isn't what we've uncovered. It's what still waits, hidden beneath the steam and silence. Subscribe to the Forbidden Realm Files, where every shadow has a story, and the unknown is never far behind. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never stray from the path.